Hi everyone and welcome to Season 12, Episode 2 of From Hope to Glory at Truro City with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, we are in our second episode of Season number 12, our second season in the Premier League, and things are going pretty well. We're still looking for roughly a point per game that we play in the Premier League to keep us safe from relegation as much as is possible. And currently, we're on 8 after 7 matches. So ahead of schedule. Today, though, we play third place Leicester City. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Let's see how we get on. So welcome back to Truro City. It has been a little bit of a mixed bag so far. If we go straight into the fixture list, we'll see that since the start of the season, we didn't start great, did we? In the first episode that we had, in the last episode, should I say, we lost to Bournemouth 3-2 early in the season, and it didn't get us off to a great start. We then followed it up with a game against Chelsea that they really comfortably beat us. Drew against Blackburn, which was all right. Went through in the cup competition in the Carabao Cup against MK Dons, a lower league side. And then we got a very credible 1-1 draw against Tottenham. Abu Bakar showing up and getting a goal there for us. And he's got a few so far this season already. And it's kind of what we needed to base our success around this season, is him getting the goals. Man City came and they squeaked a win 3-2. We played really well. We were really competitive with them, but we did succumb, and they ultimately they did beat us just about. Derby County, though, we beat them 3-1. Followed that up with another win in the Carabao Cup against Chesterfield with a completely rotated 11. And then Crystal Palace came and another 3-2 scoreline, but this time in our favour. And it leaves the table looking pretty good, really. After 7 matches played for us, we find ourselves in 14th position on 8 points, and plenty of scope for getting above a couple of other sides if we get the points today, for example. I'm not really expecting to necessarily, because we are coming up against a Leicester City side that are sitting third in the table. So Chelsea, West Ham, Leicester, Newcastle, Man United, Man City, Bournemouth are the top 7 currently. Slightly strange top 7 in a lot of ways, but this is 12 seasons in, so lots has changed in that time. So who knows who the big sides really are. But Tottenham really struggling below us in the table after 8 matches played for them. And the likes of Arsenal in the bottom half, or sort of just around the middle of the table as well. So a couple of teams that you might think would be doing better are not doing so well. Anyway, today is all about trying to remain competitive and try and take as much out of the game as we can against Leicester City. Could we get a point? Maybe. Could we get a win? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But a home match, let's go and check it all out. So, unfortunately for today's game, we have got a couple of injuries, and they are in our midfield area. Unfortunately, White, Goodwin and Morrison are all out for today's match. White is a bit more of a utility player through the centre of midfield, but Goodwin and Morrison are our first choice players in the central midfield role and the attacking midfield role. And having both of them missing for today's match is a little bit disappointing, to be honest, but we have to ride with what we've got, and that's why we put a squad together. Abu Bakar has been fantastic so far this season. He's got about 5 in 7 games. And he's been ably assisted, literally, by the likes of White on the right-hand side and Izvikov on the left-hand side, both getting a few assists already. And Wendell at the back has been absolutely magnificent in goal for us. These are some of the players that we bought in this season. White, Izvikov and Wendell, all playing really well and really ably supporting the likes of Abu Bakar. If we can get Goodwin and Morrison back into the first team, I think we are pretty good, actually. And I think we could cause a few upsets this season. But with them out for today's match, it just looks a little bit threadbare in that central midfield spot. So, for today's match against Leicester City in the Premier League, we go in with Wendell in goal, Williams at right back, Benamor at left back, Baptiste and Mavropanos in central defence, Gonzalez, Barry and Thompson in central midfield, White on the right, Izvikov on the left, and Abu Bakar up top, and a bench of Nelson, Fink, Fenn, Kane, Wright Phillips, Dudita and Henderson. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So, as we're at home, I've gone with let's give the fans a performance despite the odds being against us here. We have to acknowledge that Leicester City are far in advance of where we are in terms of league position and also structure of club and all sorts of things. But we still get 11v11 in the start of this game to go out and see if we can remain competitive and at home put on a worthy display for our fans to watch. So at least they can go home happy in the knowledge that we gave it absolutely everything that we possibly could. Now, Leicester have picked up a very early yellow card after 9 minutes, but other than that, it's been quiet. We've had the one shot at goal. It wasn't on target, but at least we registered a shot. Good headed clearance by Gonzalez, who's been magnificent so far this season for us in that holding midfield role. Again, digs in there and gets the ball out from that defensive midfield area. Abu Bakar takes over, rides the challenge brilliantly at the last ditch there, just as he's taking the shot. But it was enough just to put him off slightly. And so it was a slightly weak effort in the end, but a really, really fantastic driving run by him. Mavropanos also picks up a yellow card now, so something for us to be careful about as we move through the rest of the game. A couple of central defenders in the match on yellow cards could be a problem later on if we're not aware. But 37 minutes in, we're kind of doing what we said we wanted to, really. It's not been end-to-end, it's not been particularly open, but we have remained competitive. Possession stats are fairly even. We've both had a couple of shots at goal. Nobody's really challenged the goalkeeper yet. And it's Fofana dropping it back to the Leicester City goalkeeper to reset themselves going down the left-hand side. Shoretiri cuts in a little bit. Then there's a great ball over the top. And whoever Danny Macias is, that is a really wonderful finish by him, unfortunately. It was a good move, good sweeping move, really, from back to front. Shoretiri cuts in off that left-hand side just a little bit. Then they dink it over the top. And as long as he didn't move too early, and I don't think he did, I think our left fullback was holding a position that meant he was onside, and he was. Unfortunately, Leicester take a 1-0 lead just before half-time. If we'd have gone in 0-0, I'd have been ecstatic by that. 1-0 down means that we kind of have a bit of a tricky situation for this second half, really, as to exactly what it is we try and do. Because I think we have been fairly competitive. Their XG rating suggests that they don't really deserve their one goal, that it was a very, very good individual one-off effort by Macias that put them ahead. So we can take some positives from it, but we are 1-0 down. So in we go to the dressing room. Let's see. We won't go particularly big on the gesture, but we will say I expect to see a much better second half display. Just boost them a little bit. And once we go out there, we're going to fire them up and just see if we can get on the front foot in the early stages of the second half. Hopefully, Leicester will kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit. And we can maybe get one or two chances to try and properly have a go at this goalkeeper and see if we can get something past him. But so far in the match, just that one effort on target from both sides, and it was from Leicester. And they've jumped ahead a little bit in chances created in this second half. We are fading slightly from that. So we are going to have to make a change or two, I think, in a minute, just to see if we can get some freshness into the onto the pitch. Poor ball that from Thompson. He did all the good job of winning the ball quite nicely and then couldn't quite put it through. Eventually, we do carve out a chance for ourselves, but it's, again, not quite enough to really challenge the goalkeeper. But at least, should I say, it was on target. We're going to pause the match there, go into the tactics. It's been a little bit underwhelming this second half, just at the point where we really needed to go and have a go. Haven't quite managed that so far, so we've got some yellow cards to worry about. In danger of being booked is Thompson as well. Everybody's reasonably fit, I would suggest, so that's not really an issue for us. So what we're going to do here, we're going to look at some low ratings as well, and there are some around. Right on a 6.2, we picked him out before the match, saying how many assists he's got. About like 4 assists in the last 7 matches. Same for Izvikov, and neither of them are doing it today. Thompson obviously having a little bit of a weak game. But similarly, so is the likes of Ben Moore and at the back, Mavropanos. We can't change all of them, unfortunately, but we can change some of them. So what we're going to do is take White out and put Wright Phillips in down that right-hand side. We are going to take Mavropanos out and put Nelson back in. This was our number one pairing for last season, if you remember. Baptista Nelson, just to protect that back line from another yellow card. Gonzalez, I think we're going to hopefully get him through the game with just that one yellow card without any further issues. I'd like to make a slightly more attacking change if I can. And what we're going to do is we're going to take Thompson out and we're going to put Henderson on. And we're going to go into the 4-4-2 formation and see if we can finish slightly stronger in that kind of setup. So we'll just move Abu Bakar across and play that way with Henderson as a deep lying forward and Abu Bakar as the advanced forward. Everybody else pretty much holds their same player role. And we're going to move from balanced up into attacking. And change the vertical tiki-taka to the wing play. See if we can get it out wide, change back to attacking, and see if we can get some crosses into the box that maybe Abu Bakar can get on the end of, hopefully. We'll see. I mean, it's a little bit of a long shot at this point. Leicester are probably going to be quite comfortable trying to hold on to a lead, especially when we've only put one shot on target all game. But with 15 minutes to go, we're going to go into the shouts and demand more from the side as well, just to see if we can get anything out of them for the last little bit of the game. And it's Leicester, unfortunately, that have the highlight. Can we win the ball back from them and counter-attack? At the moment, they're working it very nicely, keep ball quite well. There's a good opportunity for Williams to get a foot in. He tries, and he didn't quite make it. And Alfredo comes away with the ball. And at that point, he had still a lot of work to do to get it in the goal. But he kind of somehow managed it. Some good work out here. Williams almost got there. Alfredo rised that challenge. And then from quite a narrow angle, Wendell goes the wrong way. Protects his near post. And Alfredo goes into the far post. And we go 2-0 down. It was always going to be a possibility if we opened ourselves up a little bit to try and get something from this match. It's kind of come about, really. And too late, we're now having our own opportunity down the other side. It's been a little bit sort of one-sided in this second half, I would suggest. And Macias again on the ball, drifts it. Oh, that's a lovely... I don't know whether I'm engaged by them being very entertaining to watch or frustrated at my own defensive lapses, really, because I thought they did well. Macias works his way down the right-hand side, but then stalls the play and drops it back to the oncoming Valentin. And we weren't really, again, at the races. Their play was very nice and very good, but defensively, we needed a little bit more bite about us on one or two of these occasions. Oh, don't make it worse. I don't think we've been bad enough to be 3-0 down, really, let alone 4. And again, we had a chance to counter-attack. Again, we did not make it count. And again, Leicester come back at us. On this occasion, their quality evades them slightly. And we stay at 3-0. I feel a little bit hard done by on 3-0, if I'm totally honest. Izvikov down the left-hand side. Can we get a consolation goal and just make that slightly look a little bit better? We can't. They defend very well. And now they come back at us one more time. 92 minutes on the clock. Seconds remaining in the match. And they get one more chance maybe to get a fourth goal and really, really put us to the sword. It doesn't quite work out for them. Good work by Ben Moore, I think it was, down that left-hand side for us. And eventually the final whistle goes and it is a 3-0 defeat. I think it's quite hard done. I feel quite hard done by it. I mean, they had 15 shots a goal. Fair enough, absolutely. Only 4 on target with an XG rating of 1. And they got 3 from it. So there you go. That happens in the Premier League when you're the type of club that we are, though. We're still finding our feet a little bit, still finding where our qualities lie. And we are absolutely pretty much the worst side in the league in a lot of ways. And it kind of shows when you come up against slightly bigger sides. Leicester did the job today. They came away with the 3 points. Am I disappointed? I kind of am a little bit, but there we go. That's just one of those things. So ultimately, whilst I am disappointed by the performance today a little bit, especially that second half, I feel like we kind of let them go without too much of a fight. Ultimately, we can't lose track of the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is we are on target again to match the amount of points that we need per games that we've got. So we're looking for 38 points in the season, one for every match that we play, that hopefully will get us safe. We did it with 35 points last season, and currently we're on 8 points from 8 games. So not too bad at all. We are on target. Got to remain vigilant of the bigger picture. 15th place, so we have dropped one, I think, but that's okay. I'm not really worried about position as long as we're not in the relegation zone. In terms of what's coming up in the next couple of games, there are some potential there for winning matches. Southampton, Leeds, Cardiff, the 3 games coming up immediately. One of those in the Carabao Cup against Cardiff. Hopefully we can continue on a good cup run. That helps no end to get some confidence into the club. But then after that, it becomes a little bit more tricky. We got Watford, Arsenal, Newcastle, Man United coming up before West Ham, Liverpool. So there's some tricky games there, but some winnable stuff in and around it. The next game that we're going to come back for in the league is going to be one of those possible moments where we could get some points against a Newcastle United side that were currently in and around the top 5 of the Premier League. So performing a little bit better than maybe we would expect them to. But having been out of the Premier League reckoning for the first 10 seasons of this particular series, it's difficult to know how these clubs have really changed and who's supposed to be doing what. The only way we've really got is if we go into the league itself, and we go to overview and then season preview and see where people were predicted to finish in the division. So, for example, Newcastle United, who are the next opponent's next episode, are predicted about a 9th place finish and are currently up in about the top 5. So they're performing pretty well. You can see the likes of, West Ham in that top 5. So they've obviously improved considerably over the last few seasons. It's the likes of Leeds United coming up and the likes of Palace and Sheffield United, etc. That whenever we play those sorts of teams at the moment, maybe those are the ones we need to be getting points from. Newcastle performing better than maybe they're expected to, but maybe we can just dent that slightly when we play them in the next episode. So if we just go quickly back to the schedule page and run through this a little bit. Southampton, Leeds, hopefully we can get some stuff from those couple of matches to get us ahead of our schedule. Cardiff, we'll probably rotate our 11 again a little bit and see if we can still get through in the Carabao Cup. Good opportunity to potentially win some silverware. And then when we get into this sandwich between Arsenal and Manchester United, can we pick up valuable points against Newcastle United? We'll have to wait and see. But for today, it wasn't the best performance. It was a little bit of a whimper, really. We did get beaten fairly comfortably by Leicester in the end. But big picture stuff, we are still on target and we will do our very best to remain so through the season. So thank you very much for joining me today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That'll help me get seen by lots more people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.